What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Black Ronin back on that again with another banger for y'all's out here today there, y'all. And guys, excuse the neck, situation, one of them days. But guys, I gotta talk about, do Africans have it better than the average American? Now hear me out. Because recently, guys, I have watched a video today by a YouTuber named Jake Tran. I'm actually a big fan of his channel. This is the his channel over here. He made a video very recently titled "Why is Africa Poor?" He made a full documentary, great video. I highly recommend everybody go check it out. But after I watched it, I got to thinking, because guys, if you've been following the channel, you guys know I'm trying to move to Africa in the future once I'm fully established here in the U.S. And the reason why I want to dip and go somewhere different like Africa and put my wealth and stuff over there is because, well, first thing first, US dollar goes crazy farther, and on top of that, in a place like South Africa, you get the same rights as a South African to buy property and buy land, buy houses. So I'm looking at the real estate potential for me as a American coming over, but also, I'm a dude of color. I'm in the black community. So, like for me, it makes a lot of sense. And on top of that, like being in a majority environment that looks like that's something I do want to experience, especially outside of America, just to see how that is on a regular day basis. And on top of that, like on my TikTok, Black Ronin, yeah, I think it's Black Ronin 99. I haven't uploaded there in a long time just because I heard about the whole TikTok ban. I may drop a few stuff from time to time, but with the whole TikTok ban, I'm not really posting there much anymore. But guys, I get a lot of love from all my fellow Africans over there, Kenyans, a lot of love from East Africans, people from Ghana, a few South Africans. I'm getting a lot more love from South Africans, over here because that's what I'm trying to move to. And I've been getting a few more subscribers recently. I appreciate you guys. So I'm getting a lot of love, from my fellow Africans. I thank you guys, from a black American over here in America. I truly thank you guys. And, because I want to take my wealth elsewhere and I want to build something great. And, not just that, my plan in the future is when it comes down to, like, because guys, I'm in entertainment. I really love entertainment. I love acting. I love doing this YouTube stuff. But the future of my other channel, Storm Dagger Films, when I do get that channel big and, when I do get it when I do get that channel being very profitable, my goal with Storm Dagger Films, not just to base it in South Africa or somewhere in Africa, but, I want to make opportunities for people, to get into acting, get into, this creative space, because the biggest issue when it comes down to that, because guys, I meet so many talented, disciplined people, but they don't have the numbers, they don't have certain things financially, to really propel them. But as long as you got that discipline, those are the people I do want to work with. And my plan with Storm Dagger Films, once I get it all established, I do want to create something called the Creators Academy. Now, the Creators Academy is basically, I want to basically get talent from all around the world, fly them to South Africa or whatever I choose to set up base in terms of my headquarters for Storm Dagger Films. And basically, I'm going to have like a compound. So, like you're going to be able to work, but also you're going to be able to live in this compound for up to a year. And basically, the plan with that, think of it as like kind of like an internship. So, basically giving new young people opportunity to build a name for themselves, be a part of Storm Dagger Films, get them a following. And after a year, they'll be able to be sustainable and be able to do YouTube, whatever it is, keep on doing it full time. But I still, bring in profits from Storm Dagger Films. We're still associated all together. So basically, yeah, just working for each other. And as they're working for me, they get to live rent free. And just create content, help build their brand, but also at the same time, they're going to be helping building my brand. So bringing talent in that does similar type of content as me and having them all together, just working together, is really what I'm trying to accomplish, but also making films as well, commercials, stuff like that. And that's my biggest goal with Storm Dagger Films. Also outside of that is real estate. You know, the real estate game in South Africa is you're a foreigner. That shit look hella beautiful. You know, so that's something I definitely want to tap into in the future. But yeah, guys, back to the topic. You know, why is Africa poor? You know, from when I seen the video, the documentary over here recently made today by Jake Tran, and I just want to say, guys, is Africa really poor? And do black Americans, just Americans in general, do we have it worse than your typical African? Let me explain by that. Now, see, here's the issue here with America. Everybody thinks America is just perfect, beautiful utopia. You know, everybody's got a lot of money. No. The people who got a lot of money, they're into debt up to their eyeballs. Let me explain something to you guys when it comes down to your typical Africans overseas. Now, after talking with a few and even just listening to some online, again, when I say these things, I don't know the average African lifestyle. I don't. But from the people who I talked to, fellow Africans of mine, they have talked to me and they said, hey, bro, like, you know, we pay cash for our stuff. You know, everything we get. If we get an iPhone, we get a new, like, food. Well, obviously food, but, you know, have cars, houses, you know, they pay cash for that stuff. A lot of places, a lot of Africans, you know, they're not in this 30-year, 50-year endless cycle of mortgage and don't own anything. Africans tend to own a lot of stuff. So that's the first thing, you know, because when you look at your typical American, they're in debt up to their eyeballs. And when you look at, you know, the amount of people, you know, that go into debt for college and get nothing in return. Yeah, they get their degree, but they can't find a job. So then they go back to school and, yeah, waste more money and get into more debt and then get somewhat of a sustainable career. But then you realize, like, damn, this only paying a certain amount of money. I can arguably go work at a McDonald's and go get, you know, practically the same amount of money, you know. So, you know, the college thing is a big issue here. Now, I'm not in college. You know, I'm on an entrepreneur type of path. I believe in paying cash for everything I get. And yeah, that's just how I move. You know, that's one of the reasons why I want to get up out of here, because I don't meet too many people with that type of mindset. I don't care about a lot of materialistic stuff. I really don't, which is another big factor. What I really love about Africa and a lot of African countries, they really care about family, you know, and if they didn't, the fertility rate, guys, fertility rates in Africa is like the highest in the entire world. The top 10 countries come straight out of Africa for fertility. Now, I don't know the reasons for that, but that's got to have something to do a lot with the family unit and the family structure. Versus here in America, where I talk to the average person, they ain't trying to have no family. One or two things. The average American either hate their family or they don't want no family. One of the two. You know, like, cause heck, I meet people come from good, like really good families, and they like, man, I ain't trying to raise no family. This shit is awful out here. I'm looking around, I'm like, nah, I'm good on that. So I got friends in that type of boat as well. So, you know, so it just depends on, you know, your mindset. Like, what do you consider rich and what do you consider poor? Because in my eyes, a rich mind is not about what I can buy physically, you know, like materialistic stuff. As long as I got my basic necessities of life, you know, a roof over my head, I got food to eat, a solid family, solid people by my side who's rooting for me and, you know, really want to see the best out of me. You know, it's that social circle that you really want. Because here in America, I ain't gonna lie, a lot of people's antisocial as hell. You know, like, you try to talk to certain people and they just, like, you can just sense the energy here, you know. Now, I will say I've never been outside the U.S. I've never been to Africa. Now, some of y'all may call me crazy, like, oh, man, this dude never even been to Africa. What the heck we gonna listen to this dude for? You got a fair point. But I did come at you with some facts. And also, I did come at you with not just talking out my ass, but also from fellow Africans that I know. And heck, even some here on this channel even agree with me. So there's your proof right there. Proof is in the pudding. So I'm not just talking out my ass here. But, you know, guys, like, that's just really how I move, you know, in terms of like in terms of a rich mindset. For me, it's the simple things in life. Everybody is different. Now, if you care about, you know, having all this flashy stuff, you know, getting this, getting that, and being in debt and finessing when it comes down to credit system, which I don't care about credit. I mean, if you're rich, I understand why you want to go into the whole credit thing if you're already rich and established. But even as I was rich, I'll go into very, very little debt at all times, in my personal opinion. Now, I'm not no financial advisor. You can do what you want. But yeah, that's just how I like to move. And then on top of that, just if you're worried about your money getting taken, just diversify it. Have a card over here, a card over there, money over here, money over there. You know, spread it out. Never keep everything all in one. You know, that's just how I move. But everybody is different. Nobody really thinks like that. And I'm just looking around here, and I'm just like, cause guys, here in America, another thing too I got to get into. Guys, the food here, the food is toxic as hell here in America. Heck, even Africans that I had met back in Florida, you know, who moved here, they said, man, I miss the food back home in Africa. Like, I mean, yeah, like the quantity, I would argue, like our production quantity is probably unmatched to probably the rest of the entire world when it comes down to food production, but it's not healthy. You know, it's horrible for you, you know. And like it's crazy, you know, like the amount of chemicals and just garbage that's being pumped into our food is just insane to me. And it messes with you too. Like it messes with you mentally. A lot of people don't know that. It messes with you spiritually. Like, yeah, guys, the stuff you put into your body, that shit matters. And versus when you look at Africa, now don't get it twisted. Now Africa got some stuff going on too, you know, diseases and stuff, certain things you gotta watch out for. But don't let that deter you. Now Africa being let's go back to this video right here, guys. The one over here by Jake Tran. Why is Africa, you know, poor and arguably like I think it's the poorest continent in the world. And it's not due to what you think. It really all is due is to basically African leaders. They need money, and they go into all these you know, like outside people, you know, America and, you know, everywhere you can think of, you know, outside the US, you know, for help and assistance. So they get rooted to the World Bank, and also I think it's called the IMF, and they get those loans, 2 billion, 3 million, 3 billion, all these $1 billion, you know, to look more modern and give the people, you know, a more sustainable society, you know. But the downside about that, like they're in debt for who knows how long. I'm not gonna say forever and ever, no, but it's a very, very long time that they're ever gonna pay off all that debt. But it's like, man, you know, so if you're a person, you know, looking at that, yeah, it looks pretty rough. Like it is pretty bad, you know, what's going on in Africa, you know, for all these years. But I will say this is why I don't think Africa is a poor continent if we're talking about mindset. Now, we do have a lot of corruption with the leaders, but that's everywhere. But you got to admit, guys, take your hats off to Africa. They came a long way from where they used to be. Look at Rwanda. Rwanda, look up that genocide. Crazy. Now Rwanda right now has literally the cleanest streets in the entire world. Like Rwanda is doing a lot of good stuff. Kenya, that's another one I was looking into. I know a YouTuber, Austin Holloman. He's in Kenya and he loves it out there. So yeah, that's another area I'm also looking into. But South Africa, I feel like you got a lot more freedom. You know, we talking about real estate and stuff like that. But I don't know, you know, yeah, Kenya's pretty up there too. They got a lot going on too. And then on top of that, you know, what a lot of people also need to look at, like Botswana, which I really love that Jake Tran, he had mentioned over here in this video. There was 3 African countries. It was Botswana, Libya, and I forget the other one. But these 3 countries here, they are the only 3 countries in the entire continent that aren't even affiliated with the World Bank and all that stuff. Like they do all their stuff on their own. And Botswana, man, they made some crazy technological advances. Yeah, excuse my language, guys, today. Yeah, I'm one of these days I'm out of it. But you know, Botswana, guys, they really done a lot of positive stuff. Like, guys, look at the tech industry in Botswana. I mean, it is insane over there what they're doing. And it's nice to know that they are a country that, you know, isn't owing, you know, the World Bank, you know, like they got the least amount of debt compared to a lot of other African countries, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Jake Tran, he went into a lot of detail with that. Props out to him. But I just want to share this video just to kind of give you guys a different light, to not just look at the continent and just poor. Like, guys, there is money in there is money in the continent of Africa, depending on where you go. So it's very, very diverse in a lot of different stuff. Minerals, you got the resources. Guys, without Africa, like, we wouldn't have certain things like our phones and stuff. We wouldn't have that. We wouldn't have electric cars, without Africa. Some of the resources that's over there, like, guys, you see why the world is just after Africa and just obviously want to control its resources. But, it's sad where it's at, but, it's not the end, guys. Guys, Africans, like a lot of Africans, man, they really made major change, lots of turnarounds. Africa in general has really evolved from how it used to be. And I'm tired of people just looking down at it. And, because when I tell people I want to go to Africa, they're like, what? But then I show them, what I'm talking about. And I'm like, oh, wow, Africa like this? I say, yeah, that shit is like that. But that's really all I got to say, guys. Let me know what you guys think. All my fellow Africans out there. What do you guys think of this video right here? Why is Africa poor? And if you're American out there, what do you guys think of my statement about in terms of, Africans having it better than, the average African? Because for one, mental health is crazy over here in America. Our food is toxic. We're so divided as a country. I'm not saying those things don't exist in Africa, but from the average African I talk to, their family unit is usually pretty strong, and they got a very, very strong community by their side. But that's not really something you really see here much in America like that, at least from my experience. And heck, I'm not just one of these guys who lived in one city my whole life. No, I traveled. I used to live in Florida, now I live in Texas. So, yeah, there are places you can go to in America where you're gonna find people with a better mindset. It's all about finding your tribe out here, guys. But that's really all I gotta say. It's your boy Black Ronin. Like and subscribe, share. I'll be catching you guys on the next one. Y'all take it easy.